watching. Today's video is going to be this amazing brow video. I constantly get asked, how do you do your brows? What do you use? How long is your process? Like all these questions. So I figured, you know what? Let's make a video. And if you want to know how exactly I do my brows, keep on watching. Just a little heads up, I do get my eyebrows threaded and tinted. I do get them tinted so that the days that I don't wear makeup, I kind of just look like I got my brows on. I'm obsessed with brows. If my brows aren't done, I don't feel complete. I don't feel right. I can't even go to like the grocery stores without my brows looking full. Tinting just makes it a lot easier. It's not permanent. It's something that does last about 2 to 3 weeks depending on how you take care of it. I actually just got them done today and I pretty much just went ahead and put my skincare on. I do prep my face before I do my brows just because I do clean my brows up with concealer, and if I put concealer and then a primer over, it just doesn't make sense. First things first, I do go ahead and kind of brush through my brows. I do have a mirror in front of me. I usually use the one that's kind of closer to the face just because I can really see what I'm doing. I do have a spoolie. Pretty much this spoolie I got in a kit with other brushes from Morphe, and I've had this for a couple of years and I just clean it and it's just good as new. First things first, I do go ahead and kind of brush out my brows, make sure they are in place. My brows are definitely not twins, definitely sisters, because this one, if you'll notice, arches down. This one kind of goes out. Sometimes when I fill them in, I do fill them in a way to make this guy kind of come down just a little bit. I try to do my best. So, pretty much like I said, I just go in and comb through. What I like to do is go upwards and then kind of up and out. I never kind of want to swish them over. Definitely don't want to go down, don't want to go up. Just kind of like this weird like up and out motion just to make sure they are in place, honey. To actually fill my brows, I use my holy grail, which is the Anastasia Dipbrow in the shade dark brown. I'm 110% sure you guys have all seen this. You guys know it's very popular, and I've been using Anastasia products ever since I actually got into makeup. Don't mind it, it's a little dried out. What I like to do is take my Tarte Maracuja oil. This is a little sample baby size because I have to buy the full size. I'm out. I use that to pretty much rehydrate this. The Tarte Maracuja comes with like this cute little dropper thing, and I actually use this for my face too. And I take it and just kind of apply baby drop. That's it. Then I take the tool I'm actually going to fill in my brows with and I kind of swirl it in there. The brush I actually use to fill in my brows is the Sephora Collection Pro Angled Brush number 22. So pretty much looking at it, it's just a very thin brush. It's made for your gel liners and things like that, but I like it because it's thin. I find most common brow brushes or brow, tools have a little bit more fluffiness. This being thin just helps me create really precise little lines on my brows. What I do is, like I said, I do go in and mix the Maracuja oil into my brow pomade just to make sure I'm getting the consistency I want. I make sure that I have a very thin layer going on. So you guys know I'm blind as a bat, but we're gonna use my glasses for this one. Taking a look to see how everything's laying before I actually go ahead and fill it in. Taking my brush with a little product, I go right in and kind of just start with little strokes to create the arch of my brow. Notice how, especially on this side, there's just like a weird separation because my brow wants to go this way and I just try to sharpen it or shape it to go kind of downwards to mimic the arch on this side. Just go with these tiny little strokes kind of close to the center of my brow. I kind of leave a gap just because I want it to be kind of a little more natural in the front. Brows naturally get darker on the outer parts of your eyes and get a little lighter towards the front, so I like to mimic that. And then of course, what I do with one side, I do to the other. Once I have that going on, I'm gonna go ahead and start filling up the top part of my brow, and I pretty much start in the middle. And I lay this on the side, but the angle going upwards is facing towards the front of my brow, and it makes it easier to kind of just go ahead and create the little lines. Sure that I'm creating a nice, precise line to meet the bottom. And I just go in and fill in the actual brow itself ever so softly. This guy gives me problems because of the fact that it's outwards. This one is pretty much my favorite brow. I'm gonna do what I did on this side to this side. I really do like to get a little messy with it, because when I go in with concealer, that's where I actually start to develop the shape of my brow a lot more. Going towards the inner part of my eye, I turn my brush kind of downward, so where the slant is facing towards my nose, and I start to do these little flicking motions. I don't really like to add more product to the brush because, as you can see, there's still some, and I just do little motions like this to create little hair-like strokes. And sometimes I do bring it to the slant again and just kind of almost kind of press it against the skin and just bring it upwards to add a little more pigmentation. And then I stop. Go back with my spoolie to just kind of brush product through and make sure that there's an even distribution, but also that, you know, this kind of softens it so it doesn't become too markery, if that makes sense. I do like to follow Anastasia's rule of thumb, pretty much a little way to understand how your brow shape's supposed to be. You're pretty much gonna take a brush or whatever, go towards kind of like where this little indentation of your nose is, and kind of bring it upwards. That is to mark where the front of your brow should start, and then to kind of see where your arch is supposed to start, I take it over and it's supposed to go right across your pupil, and that's how you know where your arch is supposed to be. And then the corner of your brow towards the corner of your nose, you're gonna follow it up to the corner of your eye, and that's where your brow should end. There are stencils out there that you can use. I have used stencils before. I kind of go back and forth. Sometimes I want to use a stencil when I'm lazy, or I really am in between getting my brows done, and it just makes it easier to clean everything up. Next, I'm actually gonna go ahead and do the most important part of my routine, going back in with concealer to sharpen the brows. This to me makes a huge difference. It makes it seem like my brows are a lot sharper, and a lot of the times it's because of the fact that it's just a matter of cleaning them up. I like to use concealer to do it. Tarte Shape Tape is a really popular one to use. I have tried different concealers, and I find there is one that I just can't live without. Pretty much it is my Lancôme Tint Idole Camouflage Concealer. This is in the shade 435 Suede W. Literally my life. If I don't have this, my brows are not going to go the way I want them to be. It's a thicker consistency, so I find it to be creamier, and it just helps me kind of just sharpen those brows, honey. And they blend out really nice too, so it's my go-to concealer when I do my brows. This lasts me so much because I only use a little every time I do my brows. The brush I use to apply the concealer is nothing too crazy, but I have the e.l.f. eyeliner brush. As you can see, eyeliner brushes are just my favorite way to do anything brow related because of the fact that it they're just thin, and the thinner the brush to me, the better the applications are. Is super cheap. It's like $1. They last a really long time if you take care of them the right way. So I highly recommend it, and it just makes things so much easier. So what I like to do is I unscrew my concealer and I squeeze just, I want to make sure I can see, just about like that much. And I hold it and take my brush and kind of take a little bit and wipe it off the sides of the bottle. This is just a way that I can add the extra product without having to pump more and more and not waste a lot. Going in, I'm gonna go ahead and just start to line my brows. I pretty much kind of bring my eyebrows kind of up a little bit, you know, just a little bit sometimes. And I'm gonna start at the beginning and start to kind of slowly create little strokes to pretty much mimic the shape of the brow. This is, I kid you not, gonna be your best friend when it comes to creating those, you know, sharp, on point eyebrows. Does anyone even say on point anymore? And then I pretty much take the brush on its side and help kind of add a little bit more. The reason why I kind of do a thick layer, or the, you know, the width of the brush, is because it helps to kind of blend everything out afterwards. I'm gonna go ahead and do what I did with the bottom to the top, and I just kind of go ahead slowly. This honestly is the most important part in my opinion, because it really is what defines the shape. So take your time. I have just gotten used to doing my brows so much, so I pretty much have it packed down and can just do it as quickly. Actually just do it quickly in general. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. And you have this. Go ahead and do the other brow. Before I actually blend the concealer out, I go back with my angled brush with the pomade on it, and I just kind of go to make sure that everything is sharp, just kind of clean it up even more, and make sure that if the concealer did accidentally get on the parts I filled in, that I am just going ahead and filling that back in. After I get it to exactly this point, it is time to blend this concealer out. You guys have seen this in a bunch of my other videos. This is the Morphe E20 brush. I don't even know how to explain it, but literally just blends everything out seamlessly, just does the work how I need it to. Pretty much just go ahead and buff out the concealer, trying so hard not to mess up the work I did. This is another reason why I put such a nice amount of the concealer, or a nice width of the concealer, away from my brow, just so I can make sure that when I blend in the concealer and, you know, soften the edges, I'm not too close to what I just worked on, and then that would result to me pretty much messing it up. So I'm just gonna go ahead and buff them out. And this is why I love this concealer too, you guys. It just cleans itself up so well. And there you guys have it, my completed eyebrow tutorial. It did take me a while to learn how to work with my brows, so don't get discouraged if you don't get it the first time. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. Like this video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know down below if there's anything else you guys want to see. As always, besos.